Hey everybody, this is Brendan with Business for Chummies. In this video, we're going to take a look at how to use the VLOOKUP function and the IFERROR function. And so the reason we want to use these two functions together is if our VLOOKUP has an error or doesn't return the value we're expecting, we want to show a message instead of that weird NA error that Excel gives as a default. So let's take a look at the two functions separately and then we'll put them together. So the IFERROR function essentially works like this. I'll do equal IFERROR, and then you have the first value is what do you want to do? And then separated by a comma is really what to do if it doesn't work. So that's our basic formula there. And now the VLOOKUP function is going to be which value do you want to look up? So in our table here, what we're going to do is we have a list of product IDs and then the sales of those products from a quarter by quarter basis. And so we're going to use our reference over here in H4 to look up product ID 4, which is on row 5 here. And we're going to say we want to look up product ID 4, which is in cell H4. And then it's going to ask us, where do you want to look for, like, what is the entire array of the table? So I'm just going to highlight my entire table here. And then what it's going to do is after it finds our ID in the first column of our table array, it's going to say, which column of that array do you want to return? So in our example, we want to return the profit from the first quarter for our product. So it's going to find ID 4 in the first column here, and then we want to return this $10,000 value in quarter 1, which is the 1, 2, 3, the third column. So here I'm just going to put a number 3, and we can kind of see what that looks like by itself here. So that gets us what we want, right? Look up the value in H4, find that in the first column of our array, it's here on row 5, and return the third column, 1, 2, 3, and 10,000 is the value that we get. So now what happens if you have some error in your VLOOKUP? Let's say, for instance, there's some input. This is the typical error that you would expect to see in an Excel. But what if you want something that's a little bit more nuanced and personalized? So what you would do is, remember, we have that IFERROR function. So IFERROR, you would put what you want to do in the first part, and then what to put, what would you want to return if it doesn't work? So what we want to do is our VLOOKUP. I'm just going to copy this, or cut this. I'm going to paste it into this first section of the function here. And then what do we want to do if it's broken? I'm just going to return a simple string in quotes. I'm going to say busted. And then I'll pull this up on one line because I'm a little OCD about it. And so we have our function here in nested. So if error, it's going to say, what do you want to do? Try that first. If it doesn't work, this is what we're going to return. Now let's hit enter and see what happens. All right, so it's returning our busted value because something in our function is broken. Now let's go back and look up a new value here. So now you can see that it's returning and doing the VLOOKUP appropriately. It's looking up cell H4. It's going into the array to find where that product ID is 2. It's on row 3 here, and it's returning the third column, which is 12,000. All right, nice simple function, gives you a little bit of customization over your errors, and really great to use. IFERROR can be used in conjunction with a lot of other functions, not just VLOOKUP, but VLOOKUP is one of those great functions that is really useful to use with the IFERROR. All right, hope you had some fun, learned something. Don't forget to subscribe to Business for Chummies for other great videos.